Several studies have asserted that economic growth that is anchored in agriculture is 4 times more sustainable than that driven by any other sector.
Today, over 900 million are chronically hungry due to extreme poverty, a figure which continues to rise in sub-Saharan Africa. It is said to note that close to 30% of the population suffer food insecurity.
Agriculture is a major employer. 80% of Kenyans. Agriculture feeds us. Agriculture is a major earner of foreign exchange. So it is the most important industry that we have in this country.
Most developed countries originated their progress on agroeconomy initiatives. The Sustainable Development Goals have poverty eradication and zero hunger as the number 1 and 2 priorities.
I have visited Egypt, which is quite known in terms of agriculture. I've also visited Israel as a country where we have plentiful of honey and milk. Both countries, Israel and Egypt, we know that they are placed actually on a desert area. But both governments of the 2 countries have embraced intensive farming. Intensive farming here refers to the fact that they have put a lot of investment in terms of capital, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of human resource, that is extension services.
In Africa, agriculture is the main sector through which these goals must be addressed.
Nalima mchele, wimbi, na uyoga, na ndizi, viazi.
The African Union appreciates this fact by setting up a Rural Economy and Agriculture Commission that aims to promote the sector as a pillar to development.
In a world that is overflowing with riches, it's outrageous that almost 900 million people are hungry or malnourished, and that every year over 6 million children die from starvation or related causes. We know that if a person is not well fed, they are prone to diseases, they are unable to produce, and therefore this not only affects the immediate family, but also affects the economy and the nations, and really the global world. While the rest of the world has made significant progress in addressing food security, Africa is still lagging behind, especially the sub-Saharan Africa.
Further, the AU Vision 2063 gives priority to economic development that is people-centered and therefore emphasizes that future industrialization in the continent can only jumpstart if anchored on agriculture. The African Union believes that a comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Plan is necessary in making poverty eradication a core agenda within the Sustainable Development Goals framework.
The sector to focus on is agriculture. And if I was asked a second time, I would say again agriculture, and I would say the third time agriculture. It is because most of our population is rural-based. At least one or second, third Kenyan has some farm to work on. And if it is intensified, we are able to make a livelihood even from a small parcel of land, as small as half an acre.
We have to understand that leaving farmers alone will not work. The government has to take agriculture much more seriously than it is taking agriculture now. And agriculture has to be taken, as national service, as public service. Just we take education, we take health or roads. The government must massively invest in agriculture without looking at the return. Just like there will be no immediate return, even as we put so much money in security, education and all that, there will be long-term gains.
In Kenya, Vision 2030 identifies agriculture as one of the fundamental pillars that will turn the economy around. In the years 2013 and 2014, agriculture was the highest contributor to the gross domestic product, accounting for 20.8% and 14.5% respectively. Smallholder farmers provided 60% of this sector. Smallholder farmers in Africa constitute a larger percentage of the population, often approximated at 70%. Ironically, the food that is consumed in most African countries is produced by these smallholder farmers, and yet they receive minimal government and donor support.
We must start going back and looking at the woman who went with tomatoes in the morning. A crate was going at 700. She has tried to sell, she could not sell. It has reached at this hour, she has come down to 200. Still, she has not gotten somebody to buy. And there's that clever one who knows by around 5, that tomato crate will be 50 shillings. Because this woman is desperate, she's supposed to walk 20 kilometers back home, and she has nothing. So what does she do? Chukua tu na shilingi 50.
Agriculture is one of the largest employer sector across the continent, and yet farmers lack access to finances, storage facilities, skilled local and international markets, unfair competition, infrastructure and farm inputs. The resulting effect is increased poverty and inequalities.
The gaps actually that exist in us attaining or undertaking farming as agribusinesses is that most farmers who are engaged in various farming activities, there are those in the dairy industry, there are those in the coffee industry, there are those in the banana industry, there are those in horticulture industry, there are those in, name them, there are many, have not been able to organize themselves into some kind of formations that can help them undertake farming as a business and hence enjoy this reward.
Soko ndio shida kwa sababu wakati tunakuza hii vitu wanga za zingine inakuja inakuwa mingi. Sasa soko hapo inakosekana. Sasa kupeleka kama Nairobi inabidi mjiunge, angalau mchange kila mtu kitu kidogo kidogo, muhae kitu kama lori. Sasa ndio mpeleke kitu kama wimbi kwa soko ya mbali.
The advocacy we have always put in place was one, to launch a very thorough campaign telling people like in this respect why they are poor and why they are doing things that they are doing that are making them even poorer. And as we were doing the advocacy, we were also advocating for the indigenous crops that the community used to do.
At national and county levels, there have been efforts by the state to mitigate the situation by putting in place measures including increasing budget to agriculture and instituting subsidy programs.
Normally, the other business people who plow for farmers charge 4,000 per acre, but the county government has come in with the tractors which offer services as a subsidy, and they are charging 2,000 per acre. So that encourages farmers to do timely land preparation, and also because of the farm input project, they're able to access inputs at a subsidized cost.
Unfortunately, these efforts have had little impact because they are not based on a solid policy backing.
In Israel, desert, they have more food than Kenya has. Why? Because of priorities. Priorities. Where do we put our priorities when it comes to agriculture? What percent of our domestic product do we put in agriculture? At least it should be not less than 10%, but we put a mere 4%. Where is the rest of the money going?
To demonstrate this, in the 2016 Kenya supplementary budget, agriculture lost by 30.3% to the security docket.
Putting only 4% of our national budget in agriculture clearly shows that this government is merely paying lip service.
To support the smallholder farmers, 3 steps are vital. First, the state has to give priority to agriculture. These will ensure the poor, who form the bulk of the smallholder farmers, improve their livelihoods. Second, the donor and financial institutions need to mainstream agriculture sector and provide significant financial support to developing countries and micro-programs within the agriculture support systems, such as in the value chain.
Kama mapa ina provide seeds za mchele, mbegu ya mchele na mbolea na kulima pia. Wanga kama umeshindiwa kulima, wanakulimia na wanajaji kitu kidogo. Yani wanajaribu angalau kusukuma members wao wakuwe na kitu ya kusomeshea watoto na kulinda familia yao iwe nzuri.
Third, there needs to be a deliberate local resource mobilization mechanism. For instance, farmers should form associations and cooperatives that will increase their bargaining power with the governments, markets, and other interest parties.
Supermarket inaathiri kwa sababu unajua kuna vitu vingi viko kwa supermarket. Ingawaje watu hawajui viko bei ghali, na pia si tungependa hao watu wa supermarket wanunue kutoka kwetu. Vitu vingi vinakuwa imported. Na vinatoka hapa vinaenda nje, vinatoka nje vinarudi huku ndani. Na ndio maana nimesema serikali pia tusaidie. Hivyo vitu badala vitoka hapa viende, vitoka hapa direct vingie kwa supermarket.